guys, welcome back to the channel. Headless.scents here. Thank you for being here. So today is going to be the first episode of 3 episodes as a continuation of the video that I did last time on how to layer your fragrances at the cellular level. So basically this 3-part series, well, I'll explain to you. So we have the breakdown of that one. So that was a 30-minute series. This one will break it down into 2 series, and then the last series will be a bonus episode. And I definitely, even if you listen to the last lecture, I would highly recommend you stay tuned to this one, because in this episode I will be dropping a bonus item that I did not include in the last episode, and in the next episode I will also be including bonus items. So even if you listen to the last lecture, it would behoove you to still stay tuned to these 3-part series. All right, and a disclaimer, which I should put at the beginning of the video, not somewhere towards the end of the video. I am not a doctor. However, I do have a degree in neuroscience, which is the study of the noggin, okay, your brain, that pink thing between your ears, and I have a graduate degree in medical microbiology and infectious disease. So you should be rest assured that I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to science, and I'm not just talking out of my bum. All right. Oh, guys, say hi to Dana Scully. Hi, Dana Scully. Hi. Okay, great. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in because I want this to be a shorter episode. So some of us are auditory learners, so the last one would be great for people if you like to do things and just listen to episodes. But this is for guys who like to learn things visually. So I'm literally going to walk you through everything visually, so it will help you learn. So we're going to deep dive, right, on how into the body, into the cellular level, inside the skin, inside the body, to start the layering process even before we touch anything on the skin. There are thousands of videos on how to layer your fragrances. And even aside from videos, our mamas taught us, our grandmamas taught us how to layer our fragrances. And even if they didn't, we can find this information in abundance on the internet. And some of these videos even go as far as to say to hydrate. Great, but what does that mean? Drink water. Okay, but what about people who do all these steps, right? They layer their fragrance, they exfoliate, they put the lotion, they use the mist, or they put perfumed lotion, and they put extra lotion, and their skin eats it up, or they have thin skin, right? This is for you guys. And it's also for the people who have a great fragrance game, but they want to take it to the next level. And because I live my life by these rules that I'm going to share within the next 3 videos, I think that's why even the days that I don't layer my fragrances and I just simply put on perfume and I go, and if I wear something, even a light fragrance like Jessica Simpson's Signature, I still get compliments. I believe is because my skin holds on to the fragrance and you can really smell it, so my skin doesn't eat it up. So I literally, everything I'm going to teach you, I do, so I know that it works. I know it quantitatively, like I know the book study, but also I put it into action. So what does it look like to hydrate? Drinking water is not enough, because if your body is not properly absorbing the water, it doesn't matter how much water you're drinking. You need to do it right. So the first thing, you have to drink the right amount of water. So the recommendation is that you take your weight, you cut it in half, right? So let's say you weigh 110 pounds, right? And then you take that, you divide it by 2 and 55, right? So then 55 ounces of water you need to drink. And so what that converts to in cups is approximately 6 to 7 cups of water. It's closer to 6, but I like to move up. So 6 to 7 cups of water that you should be drinking, right? So great, you have the right amount of water to drink. Then the next, you say, I'm drinking water, but gosh, it doesn't seem to be helping. My skin is still dry and the fragrance just gets eaten up by my skin, or I have thin skin. So what you probably need to be balancing is your electrolytes, okay? Especially if you exercise a lot, right? So you're constantly sweating, especially if you do intensive exercise, because your electrolytes can get out of balance, right? So there are 2 things. You just want to maintain your daily electrolytes, and then there's when you need intensive electrolytes. They're 2 different things. So in terms of intensive electrolytes, let's say you do CrossFit or you run a lot and it's the summer and you're excessively sweating, and or you were just recently sick, right? So you were vomiting, you were profusely sweating. For example, if you had COVID, right? And you were profusely sweating, or you had the flu and you were vomiting, and you were vomiting from the other end, to put it delicately. So in cases like that, disrupts the amount of electrolytes that you have. So you have your baseline here, and we're skewing from the baseline. We're going down. We're losing our electrolytes. And without the proper electrolytes, our cells cannot properly absorb the water and hold onto it. Okay? And what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are calcium, magnesium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and hold on, sorry. It's been a long day. Calcium, magnesium, sodium. There we go. Good gracious. My brain is tired. My brain is over here. That's why it's with Dana Scully. My brain's inside her. I took it out, right? Okay, great. So how do we get electrolytes into our body? So I know a lot of people like to drink things like Gatorade to replenish themselves after exercising. Now, this is not sustainable, and I would recommend to only use stuff like that for emergency situations that is chemical laden and sugar laden. Just try and keep it natural. So one thing, let's back up a little bit here. For daily maintenance of electrolytes, I would recommend that everybody do. So when you wake up in the morning, right, after you were fasting all night, fasting meaning you weren't eating while your body was recovering while you were sleeping, the first cup of water that you take in the morning, I want you to add something called Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt. It is a specific brand, okay? It's trademarked Celtic sea salt. It is not table salt. For the love of all goodness, whatever you do, do not put table salt into your water. It is a specific salt. It's called Celtic sea salt, okay? It is called mineral salt. And in it, you can see what we have here. You can see that we have vitamin D, we have calcium, well, there's no iron in there, but we have potassium and we have magnesium. It's trace amounts, but again, this is just to maintain the baseline of electrolytes throughout the day. So even if you're not a heavy exerciser, even if you weren't sick, I recommend all of us to just take a pinch of this. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna take a cup of water, preferably lukewarm water, right? So let's say here, okay? You're gonna take a pinch of Celtic sea salt, not table salt. For the love of all goodness, do not do that, please. You're just gonna take a pinch, like this much. You're gonna put it in the water. See right there? It floating down to the bottom. Then you're gonna stir, stir, stir. Just a trace amount. And you're gonna drink it. You can barely even taste it. And you really enjoy it when you get used to it, okay? So this is just to maintain your baseline levels of electrolytes. I love water. Okay. Now for the people who skew far from the baseline. Let's say you're a heavy exerciser. I know that a lot of people love to take things like IV hydration. Now this is good for emergency circumstances, right? When you're not near anything, because this stuff still has chemicals in it. So I would recommend to just keep these kind of things for emergency situations, or maybe use a couple of times a month, but not on a regular basis. So even here, the emergency vitamin C has the hydration electrolytes as well. So it's good to keep it in your house for emergencies, or to use it a couple of times a month, right? But the other things that you can do on a daily basis, so you don't have to do crazy things like that, I would recommend to make sure we ingest it in our food, right? So here we have calcium supplements, okay? We have magnesium supplements, okay? Let's see. And we have potassium, okay? So these are some good ways to get your electrolytes in your body on a daily basis. But the thing is, with these things, you're gonna have to be consistent with it, right? And again, if it's an intensive thing and you were just sick, again, definitely I would recommend the liquid IV and the emergency hydration. So definitely keep either of these. I tried both of these, they're both good. So definitely keep these stocked up in your house for emergency situations like that. Like let's say you're vomiting and your intensive exercise, so you can alternate this with proper nutrition in your food, okay? Great. Okay, so that is the hydration element. And for the potassium and the banana, that's why you see a lot of people who exercise a lot eating bananas, because it's the high levels of potassium in here. And one thing that I like to do is when I slice up my banana, I like to use cacao nibs, like literally just chop it up and then sprinkle the cacao nibs on this, because this is this is pure cacao, and this is also high in antioxidants, and anything high in antioxidants is great for maintaining the integrity of the skin, right? So what basically is hydration is helping the body maintain its own water. The body, your skin is a protective layer, right? So you're going to do whatever you can to protect the integrity of your skin. So it's great for the taste, it's great for the crunch, it's great to make it less boring when you're eating your bananas, and you're also getting additional benefits for your skin while you're eating your banana. Okay, great. So that's for the electrolytes. Now I'm going to throw in a little bonus that I did not throw in the other one. As we're coming into the colder weather, right? It was officially autumn yesterday, but now we know the weather is going to get drier and the weather is going to get colder, which means there's going to be less humidity in the air and our skin gets drier. Guys, this might be a little bit much, but again, I do these things in the winter and later on in the autumn. Get a humidifier. Get a bloody humidifier for your room. So while you're sleeping, your air is moisturized. And if you don't do it while you're sleeping, let's say you just leave the humidifier on in your room while you're out and you come back to a moisturized room, right? Because when you're sleeping, right, you're just laying there for maybe like 7 to 8 hours. And so now you're optimizing those 7 to 8 hours and you're hydrating your skin. And this is my humidifier here. So you can see that I actually live what I preach. So I put this away for the summer and the spring, but now I have it out for the autumn and the fall. So I like to sleep with the humidifier on, and sometimes even if that gets a little bit much, I just leave it on in the day while I'm busy doing my work. So when I come back into my room at night, the air is nice and moisturized, meaning humidified. So even when I'm sleeping, I'm not getting the water drawn out of my skin. Does that make sense? So this is something that I really want for you guys, if you're really dedicated to this, to make sure you get a humidifier for your room. So while you're sleeping, you're still taking care of the hydration in your skin. Now, while I'm piggybacking off of that, I wanted to mention something. So you know how people use satin pillowcases to take care of the hair so it doesn't dry it out and it doesn't dry out their skin? I would recommend, because this is what I do religiously, when I'm sleeping, right? Again, this is 7 to 8 hours that you're literally laying in bed, right? So your body, you want to optimize that for hydration. I would recommend only sleeping in satin or silk or satin-like materials. When I go to sleep, I do not wear cotton. I do not wear sweats. I do not wear like polyester. I only sleep in satin clothes. So when I moisturize my body before I go to sleep, it's not being sucked out from the cotton in my clothes. So again, to recap, the 2 bonus items is 1, get a humidifier, because we're going into the autumn and the winter season, and the air is going to become very, very dry. And so when you're sleeping, your skin's going to be more susceptible to the dryness in the air, and you're going to wake up with drier skin. So get a humidifier, okay? And if you cannot afford a humidifier, what I would recommend to do, take a pot of water, put boiling hot water in it. This is really old school. I used to do this when I didn't have money. So go in your room, put down a towel on the floor in the corner of a room, yeah? Put a relatively big pot, or whatever size pot you have. It depends on the size of your room. If you have a big room, you get a big pot of water, or if you have a small room, get a small saucepan. Fill it with water, boil it. Now take that, obviously put an oven mitt on, don't hold a bloody hot pot, use your common sense, and then go into the corner of the room and just let it there and put it in the corner, right? Make sure it doesn't hurt anybody, just keep it in a corner away from somebody. And again, put it on top of a protective material like a towel or whatever the case may be, and leave it in the corner. So if you cannot afford a humidifier, take a regular pot, boil water, put it in a corner. So I got you. So if you can't afford it, don't worry about that. Just boil some water, put it in the corner, old school style. Great. Now we covered the hydration part. Now I want to take it to basically prebiotics, right? So as I mentioned before, excuse me, okay, yeah. So as I mentioned before, in my previous episode, that we have good bacteria and bad bacteria in our body. people think of bacteria, I think most people think of bad bacteria as being bad. And yes, it is. We have a lot of bad bacteria around us, in us, on us. However, we also have good bacteria. There are good bacteria doing, fighting the bad bacteria. So basically, it's one army against the other. So we need to increase the amount of good bacteria to fight the bad bacteria, right? So it's all about like yin and yang, right? It's about a balance. We need both to fight them. But how do we increase the amount of good bacteria in our body? I would not recommend going into the soil and rolling around in it like a dog. Let's not do that. Let's just leave that for our little cute little Labradors, okay? Let's not do that, okay? Even though there are trace minerals in the soil, but still, let's not do that, okay? I mean, unless you're into that, then I'm not judging you. I'm kind of judging you. Don't do that, please. Alrighty, so probiotics. So here's the thing. I know on YouTube people love talking about probiotic supplements like Azo. So the thing is with this, here's my opinion on it. I do use supplements, probiotic supplements, meaning like the ones in little pill forms that are pricey. But I only use it maybe 15 to 20% of the time. But I know a lot of you guys cannot afford it, and some of you probably spend money that you don't have to get it. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need all that stuff. And it doesn't matter if you use regular, cultural, or Azo, the ones that are marketed as female probiotics. Let me tell you something, okay? It is a marketing scheme. It is a marketing scheme. If you just get regular, cultural, regular, I'm not really sure of all the different brands that are out there, but this is the one that I have. You can see that I actively use it. And again, I don't use it that often. That's why it's only like half a pack here. So Cultural is personally the brand that I recommend that has live cultures in it to help you with your gut, right? So what do probiotics do? They stabilize and maintain a healthy gastrointestinal system, aka your tummy, aka your gut. And a healthy gut allows for proper and efficient absorption of nutrients that your body needs. So all those vitamins and all those electrolytes that we need, right, and all the healthy foods that we eat, it helps us absorb all of that into our body. Now, it's good to have this in the house. Ladies, if you cannot afford it, please, for the love of all goodness, do not stress yourself for not affording it. What I do 80% of the time to get the probiotics in my body, plain whole milk yogurt. Whole milk yogurt with live cultures. None of that sugar-laden things with fruit on the bottom and it's pink and it's purple and it's blue, yada, yada, yada. No, because that stuff also has chemicals in it and it's not as efficacious because it's so sugar-laden, right? You just want to get plain yogurt. Eat about half a cup. I like to eat a cup. You eat half a cup on a daily basis, and that will help you get a proper amount of probiotics in your body, okay, on a daily basis. Again, stay away from the sugar, stay away from the fruit on the bottom and all those chemicals. I'm not saying you cannot eat it. I'm just saying for your probiotic amount that you need, plain yogurt. So the one that I like to use is Stonyfield Organic Probiotic Whole Milk Yogurt, okay? And if you, for whatever reason, don't want to use this, great, I got you on that too. I also like to use sauerkraut. And you can see that I actively use this. This is my new one. I have another backup there with I have soaking in chilies because I'm crazy. So this one I use is called Wild Brine. I get this from Whole Foods. And again, even if you are on a budget, you go to Kroger and you just get the regular sauerkraut, listen to me. And I need you to listen to me very closely. It doesn't matter, even if you get like the hot dog sauerkraut, it's still fermented. It's the fermentation process of the sauerkraut, of the cabbage that makes it sauerkraut, right? So they take cabbage and they ferment it. So even if you go to Kroger and you get just a regular bag that's on value, listen, it's still gonna work. So don't stress yourself if you can't afford Wild Brine. This is just the one that I use and I like it because there's beets in here too for the vitamin K. You are fine getting the one in a bag at Kroger or wherever, you know, whatever your local market is. And if it's just regular sauerkraut that you put on hot dogs, I don't care. Please get it. It works because it's a fermentation process that gives you the live cultures that you need. And again, I finished my kimchi, so I don't have it to show you. Another way to get probiotics is through kimchi. Again, that is a fermented cabbage as well that Korean people use and they eat with their food, right? So that's another thing that you can do. Oh, I forgot to pull out my camera. Hold on, I have to be very careful how to make sure I stay out of frame. Hold on. Make sure my head's Okay, so another thing you can do, because I love giving you guys options, you can see that I literally have this in my house, so I actively use this. This is kefir. So this is another way that you can get it. So it's a cross between milk and yogurt. You hear that? You hear that? So it's literally like a thick liquid. And this has live cultures in it. And this brand, again, is Siggy's, and this is at Whole Foods. And again, if you can't afford Siggy's, doesn't really matter. It's okay. Just get plain whole yogurt with probiotics. And even if you can't find one that says probiotics is sold out, not a problem. So what I need you to do is look in the back of the yogurt. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So just read that it says cultured, pasteurized, organic, whole milk. And then over here, it says 6 live active cultures, okay? So you can see that it has active cultures. And even some of those flavored ones say that it has live cultures. But again, all that sugar, all those chemicals, all those colors, you just want to stay away from it because it makes it more efficacious if you just take plain whole yogurt with live cultures, okay? All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today for the first episode, and I hope this was really helpful for you guys to walk you through it. And again, so just a quick recap, we want to drink water, okay? You want to drink half your body weight in water, convert the ounces into cups, okay? So if you're 110 pounds, cut that in half to be 55, and ounces to cups would be around 6 to 7 cups. And if you're ever in doubt, just use Google. Just use Google. Google what is the ounces to cups, because honestly, in my head, I actually can't remember the actual conversion factor. So we have the amount of water, then we have electrolytes. On a daily basis, I highly recommend you use Celtic salt, a pinch of salt water, stir, stir, stir. Drink it as your first cup of water in the morning every day, okay? And then you take your, for the days that you, let's say, are excessively skewing from the baseline, if you were sick or you've exercised a lot, I recommend taking potassium, taking magnesium, the supplements in the pills that I just showed you, or I would recommend maybe only a few times a month to take IV hydration if you need to, okay? But again, I tell you to shy away from this because of all the chemicals that still are in here and the fake sugars. And eat things like bananas, which are high potassium, and then you have your magnesium supplements here, and you have your calcium supplements, okay? So just try and stay with these as much as you can. And again, your probiotics, you have your whole yogurt, you have sauerkraut option. You can eat it straight. I just eat it straight into a bowl. You have kefir, which is the cross between a milk and a yogurt. And you have the actual cultural, which I would recommend. Ladies, do not waste your time with women's age or whatever. They just mark up the price. It is a marketing scheme. Honey, I'm telling you, probiotics is probiotics, okay? It's a marketing scheme so they can charge you. If you cannot afford it, please do not worry about this. I just told you cheap ways to get it. Go to Kroger's, get some sauerkraut in the section where it's in a bag that they have for the hot dogs. It's a fermented process. It has your probiotics in there. All right, so thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. And again, in that one, there will be bonus items that I did not put in my previous episode. And the third episode will be a wild card surprise. Okay, and just a friendly reminder, my friends, make sure you thank somebody today, even if it's for something small. And more importantly, make sure you take a moment to thank God, because if you're here watching this video, that means we made it into yet another day. And even with our trials and tribulations, God is great. Thank you, my friend. Bye.